2026 is already off to a great start, and in the MSP community specifically, there is a lot of changes coming. So this is our 2026 predictions of what we think is going to change in the cybersecurity industry and how that's going to affect your average managed service provider. So 2026 prediction number 1 is that AI-enabled hacking is going to increase even further. So we've talked about this before, but effectively now, since around, say, April, May last year, when the LLMs really sort of rose to power and started really agentically adding a lot more value, everything's moved to that agentic model. Now, the bad guys are not going to be able to have that update straight away. It's going to take them a bit longer to be able to work that through various kind of dark web channels and try and find the right people to be able to take advantage of these new capabilities. But you'll start to see AI-enabled hacking start to really, really become a lot more prevalent now, and that security by obscurity is just going to be a thing of the past. I know we've said that on this channel before, but it's going to be even more so in 2026. 2026 prediction number 2 is that cybersecurity and IT support will just merge further. So I think we're seeing that convergence anyway, but effectively the type of reaction teams and the type of ticketing systems and the type of way that you interact with cybersecurity counters and the fact that it is becoming easier to administer is very much commensurate with your standard IT support type flavor. So what you're going to see now is even more convergence where teams are going to be working on both security and IT support elements together, which hopefully is going to give a bit more revenue opportunities to the MSP world. 2026 prediction number 3 is that Sentinel is going to start working its way into everybody's stack. So currently Sentinel can be a bit expensive in Azure, and depending on how much data you ingest into Sentinel, it can unfortunately just be beyond the stretch of a standard MSP offering for end user clients. But people may be aware or may not be aware, Sentinel is being brought into that full 365 stack now, and that's going to make it a lot more mainstream and a lot more available to a lot more users, and that price is coming down. So everyone's going to be able to really give that sort of SIEM-based feel to their clients, because Sentinel's moving out of slightly clunky Azure in the way that it's currently done now into that sort of nice 365 label, and that's just going to become a lot more available for people to use. 2026 prediction number 4 is that Copilot security is going to start adding some real value in 2026. So I think we're all aware, Microsoft kind of rushed the job with Copilot. We just thought, right, AI is big, let's just try and put Copilot absolutely everywhere. So you can do your own research on some of the shenanigans that Microsoft have had with their kind of Copilot offering. But basically Copilot for security is going to become a lot more valuable, especially with Sentinel now moving into the 365 sphere. Effectively, that Copilot is going to be able to not only take down the time to fixing issues, the SOAR aspects of the actual remediation, not just the finding the vulnerabilities and finding the issues. The actual remediation is now moving more and more into Copilot security, and again becoming a lot more available for people. So we all like to have a SIEM and we all like to have these remote services. Microsoft Copilot is just on the verge, I think, now of nailing that kind of SIEM SOAR thing in a more automated fashion. I can't tell you at this stage exactly what the commercials are going to be, but I suspect Microsoft are going to try and make that as available to as many people as humanly possible. So 2026 prediction number 5 is that more and more MSPs are going to start converting to more MSSPs. So now the tools are starting to become more and more usable to your standard MSP. And as we've spoken about, merging security operations and IT support operations are just becoming more and more converged. I think your standard MSP is already starting to not enjoy losing out business to a separate MSSP. And given the fact that these tools are becoming more available, you're going to see a lot more MSPs selling themselves as being a hybrid of both MSP and MSSP. 2026 prediction number 6 is that Intune will carry on taking lumps out of the RMM market. So I think when you look at RMMs in general, they're really trying to just get themselves in a situation where they're trying to redefine what they do and they're trying to add a lot more value. They're trying to get involved in a lot more security bits and a lot more additional value adds. The truth is, I think Intune's been on it. Microsoft been on Intune, should we say, maybe 14 years now. They've had quite a bit of time to get this right, but Intune now is just starting to get good, should I say. Intune update rings is really, really good. I think a lot of other products are copying that format. And I think what you're already starting to see now is that people are scared that Microsoft are eating even more of their lunch. Again, for an MSP, something like Ninja is going to be really, really good to use, or any other sort of RMM platform. But when you've got Intune and Business Premium sort of customers already paying for it, and the types of capabilities that are now out of the box within Intune and the Business Premium subscription, we're really looking at the general day-to-day value of an RMM getting less and less. So I think you're going to see a lot more in 2026. People may be just decreasing their device amounts with their favorite RMM vendor. Our 2026 bonus prediction is around quantum computing. So although this isn't really going to affect your standard MSP or even your standard sort of SMB, you've got to be aware that up until late last year, quantum computing was only a theory of it being able to add value. Now Google have come out and said the new Willow chip has now proved that it can do something in the real world, and it can do an algorithm in just under a second, which would take eons for the highest compute power data center on the platform to do. So although it's not really going to affect your standard business at the moment, we have to be aware that in late 2025, the game kind of changed, and what you're going to see is a lot of competition from the players, all of the countries that are working on this. I think you know the second that you've got one person that's confirmed proof of concept, you're going to see that race really heat up now.